Hey guys, welcome back to the Fading a podcast. Today we have a different episode for you. We have Ahmed and Barissa from behind the cameras on screen. We're going to be chatting about our last weekend's experience where Ali, Barissa, Ahmed and I all went onto the NAF leadership camp. It was called TLO Mastery. It was a personal development camp where we learned so much about life, smashing goals, our why, our motivation, and we met some like-minded people. So there was so much benefit that we enjoyed on that weekend, and we wanted to bring that towards you and tell you what we enjoyed about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and enjoy. That often often happens and stuff.
Funny, wallah.
What do you do in that case? This is you discovering a new island. Okay, they stop throwing javelins and they start welcoming you in. Hey, talk to me about what happens on this island when you go discover a new island.
So they start welcoming you in after we had a understanding that we're not enemies. We're friendlies. Want to come to the island. I think they will just welcome us, the culture and everything. You can't say I want to benefit the ummah, inshallah, because it's just a cop out straight away.
Not really. The guy's 22 years old and he has good intentions.
He has good intentions. Let's just say very specific. He says career. Or why do you want to follow that career and want to help the ummah? You tell him why.
What if the guy's 22 and doesn't know?
I want to benefit and help the Muslim brothers who are getting caught.
Why didn't you say I want to help the ummah?
What did you say?
Through making videos.
Very different.
Okay, what did you say? I forgot.
I said that I wanted to benefit. What was it?
Let's hear this cop out. Let's go.
No, I think the issue was.
Let me finish.
Wait, no, I think I said that. What was it? My name is Ahmed Shahabi, and I am an early childhood student. I'm just trying to remember.
Oh,
what I
yeah,
said.
you did.
Early childhood student, and I hope to help deaf kids able to assimilate with other children,
That's good.
so they can become more comfortable with around them and who they are. That it's some way. Same way, it's like I'm helping, giving benefit to someone.
True.
That was a good one.
That is unique too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because everyone can say Ummah.
Yeah, but then it's like Ashraf said, like we're still, I guess you could say, in the early stages of our life in terms of impacting like the wider community. So you can give a generic answer because it is, it's on the lines of that.
Yeah.
And also with being generic and being unique, regardless of what you say, if it's for example, you have a cool dream, like, man, I want to open up a school and I want to do this, doesn't mean you're going to achieve it. So the guy that says something generic is like, oh, don't be generic, be unique. But if the generic guy achieves his goal and the unique guy doesn't, there's not a big difference. The only difference is the statements they say.
Yeah.
But statements don't mean much,
Unless you put it into action and actually do it. Yeah.
So, and it's hard, man. You got like 5 minutes. Some people don't want to open up about their goals. Some people don't know because they're like, for example, someone that just finished law school, they're a lawyer. They might, in 10 years, they might say, I want to open 10 law practices.
Yeah.
But right now, they don't have that dream.
Yeah.
It's a process. Ibn and Ahmed, when they were 25 and they were doing their businesses, they might have never said, I want to have a leadership camp.
Yeah.
Are you going to say, oh, they're not unique because they want to... Got to trust the process.
Maybe I just wanted to hear everyone's different perspective of what they want to bring to the ummah. Then right into I want to help the ummah. I want to know what part of world do you want to do.
Yeah.
Then I can look forward to your service. Wallah.
That's true, yeah.
I think as well, in a group of 60, 70 people, it's a bit hard to open up. If you did just your team, I reckon people would have opened up.
That's true.
But I felt the same way. There was a question when we were at the camp where people asked, like, if you could take the whole summer off and money wasn't an option, money wasn't a concern, what would you want to do? And everyone just had the same answer.
Was it the travel one?
Yeah.
Travel, yeah.
See, travel wasn't even a part of the question, but that was everyone's answer. Travel. And I personally know travel, like, after a certain stage, you're just seeing random sites. You're going to a new place. Obviously, there's new experiences you can have. But if you're going to do that every single summer, after the 10th summer, you're probably like, hey, Because
that's 3 months. 3 months is a long time.
But the idea that everyone had the same answer, travel, was like a cop-out. And what is travel? A lot of time it's seeking new experiences, growing. But sometimes it's just escaping reality.
What would you do then in that case?
What did you write?
The whole summer off. I think, wasn't it like a group discussion? It was a massive one, yeah?
The team catch up, the travel one?
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was
that was a big one, the big discussion.
It was a question in the booklet, just on like, I think day 2.
Ah, okay.
It was just like a blueprint, goals, why.
What did you write, Asha?
I said, because it's just like, what would you do with your summer or your summers?
If money wasn't
an option. Well, even for me, like, for example, on the travel thing, I more would go overseas pick 1 or 2 places to learn a skill. Because I know personally, if I went backpacking after 3 years, it's like cool. Everyone, like, think about every single person that went backpacking throughout their whole 20s. They went 7 years and they're like, I'm done after that. Another 40 years, they didn't need to experience it anymore.
Yeah.
Who goes backpacking 40 years straight? Most people don't.
That's true.
Because they're like, khalas, I went to these places, rather pick up a skill or a language in a certain place. It's like, okay, for example, Ali wants to go to Spain, he wants to learn Spanish, he wants to play European handball, this guy wants to go to a country, Dagestan, and learn BJJ. It's like you rather go for an intention of not just sightseeing, but you're picking up a skill.
Yeah, because I think people are too busy thinking about the initial feeling of going to a new place. And obviously, you know the feeling of traveling when, especially you just got there, you're just super excited. I've got so many things on my list. It's a new place, new culture. I think they forget about the feeling towards the end, basically.
I just didn't like that everyone on the table
Yeah.
had the same answer.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, I'm feeling like Ahmed, I want to be unique. And I just, obviously, in the moment, you can't think, you know?
So what did you have, Brissa?
I
Tell
think
us.
mine was just generic, man. Just travel the world
Yeah.
and experience
Okay.
new things.
Cop out.
No, we haven't started that, though. This is just...
No, has it?
Have it?
No, sorry.
it's better if you give a formal intro because
Yeah.
you guys are new and stuff.
Yeah, true.
So just...
But yeah, I think just generic, bro. Just travel the world. Some guy actually said, what was the question? If money wasn't an issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Some guy said, I'd actually make more money. I don't want to mention names, but like
But then money's not an issue though. So what's the point of it?
he said,
I'm
I'll
saying
make
in the
more money
holidays.
so that he said something along those lines.
It'd
but
be
it was
smart if he
funny.
goes, if he was confident enough, he could say, I'd make more money than I have the other 3 seasons off.
Sorry, my bad. He said, I'll use that money to make more money. That's what he said.
Tell the guy, relax, man. He's trying to deeper. There's no money question.
Yeah.
No one's giving you money. It's just like,
It's literally like someone paid for your thing.
maybe-
You can't
but
cash it
that's
out.
what
Yeah.
I think maybe he's talking in the aspect like because it's a summer holiday, right?
Yeah.
So he rather instead of not doing anything, you probably make more money at that during that time because everyone's taking a holiday while he's working. I mean, from that perspective.
But the whole point is to think about not money. Yeah.
So Ahmed, the question's now on you. As we spoke about on the camp and reflected, if in summer money wasn't an issue, what would you be doing in the summer holidays each year? I was talking, so unlikely it was me.
It's probably there you go.
We got a different man behind the camera who's going to be on the ball today.
I think what I wrote down was I wanted to travel, but if I'm traveling to all these countries, I want to learn new cultures and new perspectives from other people. So I like being open-minded and try out new things and understand new things. And I did the generic. I want to take my whole family Hajj for the first
That's
time.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that was the 2 things I wrote down. Yeah.
Do you think you get bored of it after like 5 years, the traveling and the new experiences?
Look, there's a whole like a whole world. So I don't think the space of
What's funny, bro?
It's good. There's a whole world. There's a lot of places to go to. Maybe there's
Yeah.
places that no one has ever been to. So imagine throughout our lives, if we went to every country in the world, maybe some new places that we haven't discovered that we'll find, and learn.
I think the way, so you discover a new country?
No,
Or
you
you
never
saying
know.
you discover like...
You never know. There might be something that we haven't seen yet. And we have all the holidays.
Okay, the only way you're discovering a new place
Yeah.
is if you get on a boat and you start going, Allah Alam, where you going? Bermuda Triangle, and then something happens.
Allah Ya'lam, bro.
Yeah, shit, I get that. Now you wanna have new experiences. You wanna be unique.
Yeah.
I know that. If you do find a new country, and they don't obviously speak English, like for example, you want. Okay. Let's play this out.
Okay.
Ahmed, next year summer, December, you're in Mexico. But you get on a boat.
Yeah, I'm on a boat.
And they say you, your mum, your dad, whatever, you're gonna go on a boat ride to another island. Yeah. And you 2 hours on the boat ride, you see another island in the far distance. And the guy says, I've never seen this island before. Okay, so Allah Alam, he's obviously the local, he's got the experience. Now you're there and you're like, he's like, do you guys want to go there? Because he's intrigued, he does the boat ride every single day.
Yeah.
He's never seen this area.
Yeah.
What do you do in that case?
Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm gonna go see it as well.
Okay, khalas, you go closer. You see some
Islanders or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, you see some humans obviously on the island stuff. They obviously don't speak English. They're next to Mexico. Maybe they speak Spanish or Ireland. You start going closer. They start throwing javelins at you and the boat. Okay, start attacking the boat because you know that often.
This guy loves to laugh.
That often happens and
That's
stuff.
funny, wallah.
What do you do in that case? This is you discovering a new island. Okay, they stop throwing javelins and they start welcoming you in. Okay, talk to me about what happens on this island when you go discover a new island.
So they start welcoming you in after we had a understanding that we're not enemies, we're friendlies. Want to come to the island? I think they'll just welcome us, the culture and everything. Obviously, like you've seen those. Wait, you've seen the documentaries, right? Like you know how like in South America, I think the Amazon forest, whenever there's like new people coming into their territory, they're welcoming, trying to teach them. You know, there's I don't know if you've seen the documentary.
I haven't seen them now.
But they welcome them and show them their culture, even though they don't understand each other. They're showing each other by what things they have or what they do. They want them to participate. You know, that kind of stuff. I think it'll be that kind of aspect. Like
So you actually wouldn't get sick of traveling?
No,
Because I know I would, bro. I would eventually get sick and want to come back to Australia.
When I came back from overseas, I was like, bro, I came back here for the first 2 weeks when I came back from overseas. I was like, bro, I want to go back out again. I think 3 months wasn't enough for me. You know, I think that's for me, I guess. Yeah.
I think it depends because, like, for me personally, I would travel as well, but like I wouldn't just like hop to different countries. What I'll do is probably just stay in one country for like 3 years.
3 years.
That's like one summer though. The question is like,
okay.
Summer.
Yeah.
but you can do that. Like say you'd ideally want to stay like the whole summer in one place.
Yeah.
3 months is pretty good.
I'd probably go to like a deserted island, bro, somewhere like in Malaysia or
To the island that Ahmed's at? The island that Ahmed's at?
no.
Discovering the island.
Somewhere like Malaysia or even somewhere in the Southern America, bro. It's amazing, wallah.
Like so you want like a beach island, like just like more seclusion.
somewhere secluded.
What would you want this seclusion for? Like you're gonna go spend 90 days of your summer in this secluded island, you know, of Malaysia or something. What do you want to do there?
I think it's just like to take a break from living in the western side of the world and like probably just being in a different environment, like learning the culture there and just trying to see how life's different compared to us living around the city and you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just try something different.
Yeah, look, it would be a thing where like it's a new experience, you know, 1 summer, 2 summers, but then maybe you eventually get bored, you know?
Eventually, yeah.
It
you
is a
will.
tough thing.
Yeah. But like
think it-
you're
I
away
think-
from electronics, away from social media,
True.
I think
It's a nice break.
live a
I
different
think
life.
it's a good,
yeah.
like a good enough downtime from the Western, connected to the Western world or like society in general, where you have your time for yourself and time to reflect for a whole month in a different place, where you're not bothered with like actual on your phone or anything. I think it would be good for everyone to be able to do that.
I think personally speaking, it would be a thing where people would have goals, you know, like to go to a deserted island and then go have that seclusion. And then in 2-3 years, you'd want a different thing to spend your summer. It's not like you're going to pick one thing for each summer. Like the question wasn't, what would you do every summer for the rest of your life if money wasn't an option? Because then you'd have to pick the same thing. It's rather, what would you do this summer or the next, like, you know? So that's understandable that you guys would want something different to learn new experiences and grow.
What would you do?
Well,
Or where would you go?
Well, most people were saying when we were at the camp, and obviously like your group was discussing this, well, most people kind of saying the same answers. Like, is everyone kind of saying, you know, everyone in because obviously the camp was for people 21 plus, were all these 20-year-olds kind of saying, I want to go travel and explore?
Yeah, everyone had the same generic answer, man. To be honest, because it's like we're just in this same thing, same process of life, doing the same thing. And yeah, if money's not an issue, then why not travel the world?
Yeah.
And everyone just wants to taste something different, I guess. So everyone just had the same answer.
And I get the concept of traveling can be like taking a break, escaping your reality. But then to do it for a long time really takes you out of, you know, your routine or whatever you're doing. So you do kind of get sick of that. So I think, yeah, it just depends on the person. Because first of all, my group didn't even go through it. So I've got no idea the rest of my group,
Yeah.
the answers and that. But then, like, for example, my one was kind of similar to you guys in dot points in traveling, learning a language. But then I feel like once I do that, like I have done it, but then once I maybe do it another time, then that might be the last time I'm actually interested in doing that. It's like, oh, khalas, done it once or twice, and it could be something completely new.
But if you think about it, like besides traveling, what else would you be doing if money wasn't an issue? Like
Yeah.
it's a good question
Me
to ask,
personally,
you know?
it'd be learning a skill, regardless of where that is. Because, for example, now you spend 40 hours of energy, full-time work plus commuting, and then you have all this additional stress. But if you had 90 days free, there's so many skills I could learn here. Like, for example, I started picking up archery. It's like I'd literally be able to spend as much time as I want in that endeavor. So that's more of what it is. Like, you could learn certain skills overseas, you could learn things here, but you have to strive for like a passion or something that keeps you going, you know, on your toes. So it's more like picking up something, picking up a hobby, that I'd say, you know.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm.
I agree.
But then I find it rare these days. Like, even though, you know, we say if money was an issue, then we'll try it. We wouldn't try it if we do have money, like bills to pay, things to like worry about, more responsibilities. I feel like these days that's pretty rare to try new things.
Well,
So I like the idea that they got us thinking about it.
True.
Because that question, if they didn't have that question, we wouldn't think like that. We wouldn't think, oh, because I reckon there's a lot of people that wrote down the answer and then they realized, oh, actually, I would actually like spending my time like this and that on the weekends, for example. I should go try this. Because not everyone thinks in that aspect. Maybe they're too busy thinking about like more money, for example.
I've seen it the most with work when I started working full time. Everyone that talks about annual leave is pretty much only worth it if you go travel.
Yeah.
Like, imagine someone goes, I'm taking 4 weeks annual leave and I'm just going to stay here. Like, people would say, like, that's just a
always
waste,
there.
you know?
Sounds weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm going to pick up a skill. But that's literally like what this is like. The only, if you have freedom, they'll automatically freedom with money, without money being a problem, which is annual leave. People just think obviously travel is the only answer, which is the best like bang for your buck kind of thing. Like, you have the most experiences. It's like here, if I picked up a hobby like archery, I'd do, for example, 1 hour a day. But if I go live in France for 3 months, 24 hours is something unique. So it's the best bang for your buck. It's the most different from here. You feel like it's worth it. It's completely understandable. But it's obviously a good thing to, what's it called? Brainstorm about, because you learn more about yourself, your aspirations, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is very
I
good.
kind of resonate with that because my last 3 leaves that I've taken were like 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm like, the last 3 leaves I've actually traveled the world. Like, I've just traveled. Left Melbourne. And I feel like that question kind of really reflected back on like the way I see it. I feel like if I do take leave from now on, I think I should just probably just stay in Melbourne and try different things, pick up a new skill, get into it, like gradually get a new habit going, you know what I mean? Get a good lifestyle going. But like, yeah, I think because the moment you come back from your trip, or your overseas, you come back, it's like, damn, back into the same thing, you know?
Yeah, it's like straight away, right?
Back
Like,
into
you don't
8
get
to
much
4,
of a
9 to
break.
5. Yeah. It's like, did you really have a break?
Yeah, in Australia, you technically didn't have a break. Because as soon as your annual leave goes, you fly off and you come back and you have like a day rest. So you didn't get a break here. And that's a big difference, because you want to have a healthy relationship with your habits. And even if you, for example, would have 2 weeks annual leave and you use it here and you pick up a skill, most likely you'd stick to it after, because you might build that love for BJJ, archery, painting, whatever it is. You do it for 2 weeks, you'd love it, and be like, now I have to do at least 2 days a week because I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it does feel like a waste, man. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
have to be
know.
honest. Yeah,
Like, I'm going to take a leave in December, inshallah, and I'm not planning to travel. I was initially planning to travel, but I'm like, you know what? Let me just spend 3 weeks, just spend it here, spend time with my family, catch up with friends I haven't seen in a long time, pick up a new habit, and yeah, just probably do things that I love. Pick up a new hobby as well, go hiking, do things that I enjoy. Probably
Hiking sounds mad.
Yeah, and if I still feel that feeling of traveling, then I'll probably just go like interstate for like a few days, come back.
Yeah, it's not too long.
Sure.
Yeah, I get
And it'll
that.
probably feel like a proper leave rather than just going overseas.
More
and-
refreshing.
Exactly.
Yeah. At the leadership retreat, was there any other topics or questions that you guys made you think? Either like, oh, I don't want to have the same answers as everyone else, or hey, I've never asked myself these questions. These are interesting. Because, you know, obviously we went through 3 days of personal development content. There was lots of things that made you like, you know, what stood out to you guys? I wish I was in your guys' group, man. But all in separate groups. Yeah,
They
we
did
all
on
divided
purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Green team.
it's tough. It was very strange at the start when they wanted us to write our own skills and values, because I guess you might think of it randomly at times or like random days, but to actually acknowledge and write down your own skills and values, skills. Like it's you feel like bragging in a way.
What did you write as your skills?
Open-minded,
compassionate, ambitious.
Isn't that like an
Yeah.
attribute? That's the hard thing. Like with
Yeah.
with an attribute and then a skill.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's like.
But then
yeah.
even in general, the concept of writing the things you're good at, or there was even another question about what are you an expert in?
Yeah.
Like that, it's like, whoa, I've never even considered answering questions on the lines of that, because it comes across like automatically I think straight away like, oh, isn't that a bit arrogant to think about yourself? I'm an expert in this, I'm an expert in that. These are apart from your field. This is skills wise. But then it's actually great, because I saw one of the kids was struggling in my group, thinking about his own skills. And then when one of the leaders came to help him, he literally changed it all up, which made it a lot easier. He said, basically ask your whole group, even though they've known you for 24 hours as of now, what do they like about you? And then he asked maybe 2-3 other people. Straight away, he like, which skills is that? Because it can be creeping up in your mind, but then you're not going to acknowledge it as much as someone else does. And someone notices exactly what you're really good at. And that kind of solidifies it, because not everyone gets to hear what they're good at, and it's not confirmed.
That would have been actually a good
Yeah.
if the people around you kind of tell you that, because then you can kind of reaffirm it or then understand how people perceive you. Damn.
Yeah, it's
I think
it's like two things. It's either one is like you're boasting about
Yeah.
your skills
Yeah,
and
that's
what you're
the
good
word,
at, you
yeah.
know, or the other thing is like you'd rather keep these things to yourself. You don't want to say too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, like you said, we had that moment where we can try and like, what was your first impression on someone else? People were full saying, "Man, you're charming, you're
Charismatic and yeah.
charismatic, outspoken, easy to get along with." I'm like, bro, come on, man, that's weird.
Yeah, how strange does it feel?
Yeah, I know, but I feel like that exercise was really good, man, because we got that opportunity to like really delve into skills and all
Yeah, I
that.
think also like I think when we did the graph, we had like your work career,
The
your
life gap.
time, your life gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really I took away from that, because it tells you wants you to graph how much you've done, like how content you are, and how much you've done on the like what mostly you've done and what you need to work on, right? So when I was just looking at it like physical, like writing, I'm just highlighting it
yeah.
to where it is.
The
and
life gap where it's like there's 7 or 8 different areas like
Yeah.
health, finances, career, family, mental health,
and finance and
Time.
time.
finance, time, like all these different areas, and then you kind of have to grade yourself with how good you are in certain areas, like 30, 40, 50, 80% in your health, physical body and all that stuff.
I think
So that was good for you?
yeah, it was good for me because I had to be honest with myself. Like, am I coming on this retreat to just hang out with friends or actually reflect and focus on what I want to do next in my pathway? And when I did that graph, I was really astonished, like how much.
Wow.
What did you, if you don't mind, like what did you give yourself?
I
Even
think from-
averages, like were they in 30 to 60, higher, 70s?
I
In what?
think if I can tell you guys, I think my one's more like physical and health was like I would say 70-60%. Like I'm happy, like going soccer, working at the gym. Like it's more what I was doing the past
True.
3 years, right? And working career, I'm focused on my studies. Alhamdulillah, like I'm stuck on that, and obviously going to work. I think for me it was time and finance. Those are two things I need to focus on. Time, I have a habit of wasting time. I'm not focusing the things that I need to that will improve like my future, what I wanted to work on, that will push me to the next step. And finance, I think it's just for me. Obviously, alhamdulillah, I'm working, but I feel like when you see everyone taking big leaps, like they financially improved, it makes you feel like I'm not really saving, I'm not improving myself.
Who's taking these big leaps in financial? Because, like, for example, we're your closest friends.
Yeah, closest friends.
None
and
of us
stuff.
have bought a car recently.
Mm.
None of us have invested in a house.
Mm.
None of us have bought a camera. None of us have bought a new laptop. So, like, open up. Like, what is the finances? Is it us starting full-time jobs?
I think like you guys starting full-time jobs and working.
Okay. Yeah.
At that, like for example, I'll say me, like you, we're the same age, right?
True.
You're on a different wavelength to me, to where I am, right? Alhamdulillah. You got a full-time job. I'm still studying. You know what I mean? And we're still at the same age and stuff. That makes you think in perspective. I need to actually take control of things to take the next step.
I get that. Look, we go indoor soccer with a lot of boys that are our age. A lot of them are buying $30,000-$40,000 cars. I can't afford that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them might be investing in a property soon. I can't afford that. It's a tough thing to look at. I understand that. Especially like me, I'm working full time. But even full time work, there's certain jobs with a lot of progression, and there's certain jobs that are capped.
Yep.
You know, you might look at it and say, okay, you know, I'm studying now, for example, the next 2 years. But after 2 years, you're gonna start your job that you're actually passionate about.
Yeah.
True.
I think I have that mindset when I want to stop my career. I want to just start working so I can get the money.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
That's the thing. When
Yeah.
you see everyone around you working full time and getting all these things, they're buying new cars or buying new stuff. That sure I could have done that. He's doing an easy ass job.
Yeah.
Well, I'm still studying. It makes you like, halas, I want to do what you want to do so I can get started, right?
True.
But alhamdulillah, like I need to stick to what I'm passionate about and something that's actually going to benefit the world and for myself as well, not just for myself.
I kind
Because
of
at the end of the day, you need to be a benefit for everyone and not just for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let me finish on that topic just on finance, because one thing you might have did is physical. You spoke about yourself. Time, you spoke about yourself. Finances, you might have compared yourself to other people.
Yeah.
So that's where your analysis is an internal analysis. So maybe with finances, Allah Alam, I don't know your finance situation, but it could be a thing where you look internally and say, okay, my goal is, for example, I want to make $500 a week and I want to save X amount for this and that. But if you compare yourself to other people, it's very difficult because, you know?
I think that's why in that graph where you had, you know, at the end of the last day when we were writing like the gap.
And analyzing the
Yeah.
gap.
How I
the
can
gap.
improve those
Yeah,
areas.
so I wrote in the finances that like being motivated, like not being motivated, so like seeing other people like spending and how I'm spending when I'm like hurting myself, right? And then like how do I improve that? I said I have to like start saving, making wise choices that actually benefit me for the next step. Like, you know, start saving and start investing in some things that will actually help me towards my career or towards my goal. And that gap where like what's the problem that you're thinking of much, and the what's the solution you got to do. And alhamdulillah, like I think when we come back, I just like, yeah, I need to start doing this and this and that. Inshallah, like it works on forward, inshallah. Yeah.
Look, honestly, bro, we can help you with the finance stuff. Time management, Allah Alam, we can try to help you. But with the finance stuff, I've read, like, obviously some of these books behind us on finance.
Yeah.
I can try to help you out, bro.
Okay, inshallah.
Because that's the point of what we learned on the leadership retreat. It's like the people around you might have certain areas, like finance, where mine might have been 70%. Not because of my salary, but because of my financial management and me being content with it. And you might be like, your salary is fine, but then your financial management's poor.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, okay, the purpose is for me to help you out. And then you have health good. And then Brusa might say, hey, he needs some advice. And then you help him out.
Yeah, I feel like with Ahmed's situation, it's more like the social pressure. Like, for example, I'm working full time. Ali might be working part time. You might be working full time as well. Ahmed's studying, so it's like, all right, while everyone else is traveling the world, people are buying a new car, like you said. It's like you tend to forget your life and your situation. Everyone's different. You know, some people are still studying, some people are working full time. So I feel like in your situation, it's just like, don't stress too much about other people and just do what you're doing. Yeah. And then once you finish, once you graduate, you can get into a full time job.
Yeah,
and,
of course, yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Because everyone's different, I guess.
Bro,
Like,
I finished my university degree, a few months ago. I'm 26 years old. The amount of thoughts I had like that, where it's like you go through your university years, it's like, man, I could be making so much money now. Like, I want to, maybe I should defer for like a few months. Is it even worth it? You know, you get these doubts because you want the short-term benefits, basically, like financial benefits. But then it's just really buying the time, understanding why you're doing everything, why you're doing your degree or whatever other course you have, basically. It's hard. It is hard.
It's hard.
We have our moments, but then it's basically just looking at the bigger picture.
For me, like, alhamdulillah, I still have that passion that really stuck to me that I haven't let go yet. Like I said, I want to benefit helping children and supporting them in any way I can. In the akhirah, when Allah asks me what you've done with your time or done with your life, and I can show him what I've done. You know, I'm getting hasanat because children are still they learn something from what they were taught by me. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, that continuation kind of thing.
Yeah,
Inshallah. Yeah.
that's true.
Were you guys the same with your life gap when you analyzed areas you need to improve on? What stood out to you?
The life gap, I think I've definitely thought about it in the past, but then actually writing down, you know, the score out of 100% and looking at it face on and being honest with myself is really, one or two things were a bit tough because I guess everyone's perception is a bit different as well, in terms maybe someone financially are happy with their, even though maybe they could aspire more, but that's like, alhamdulillah, they're content. That's one example. Or even time is a big subjective one. I was a bit like, I can really push myself because I really gave it time to reflect on, for example, like physical body, relationships, time. I did put it a bit lower because I know I can actually push to make it better, make time for my relationships, like friends, hanging out more often, or even fitness wise. So it is really about acknowledging what sort of level you know you can get to and how much you want to like, how much you really want to push to get to that level, basically.
Was any of your things like 75, 80 plus?
I didn't do 70 on purpose because
You did it 70?
like 7
Yeah.
because I feel like it's such a safe answer, like we've
Yeah.
spoken about. So I really did 6 or 8, and that was even tough because it's like 8's going to sound like I'm very content with where I'm at, which I don't know if there's any aspects really.
Was
Unless,
there any?
or maybe career, because alhamdulillah, I've taken the next chapter now where it's like I finished my degree, I'm working in the job I've actually been looking for. So I said 8 for that. Apart from that, I'm not too sure. It could be maybe a time thing where, because, well, alhamdulillah, my job, I only work till the time. So like time is in my hands. I do have the advantage. So I think those are the only two. And then the others I really wrote maybe 65 at most.
One question I had was, and I asked the boys on my table as well on the weekend, you know how we had to, obviously after the analysis at the bottom you write what percentage you want to be at. The question I had was, could you really be 100%?
Yeah.
Like, for example, for body, yeah, like we all have our own goals and everything, but like, just say you go from like weighing 120 kilos to like 70, yeah? Are you 100% happy with where you're at? Like, because once you become skinny, it's like, all right, shit, I don't have like abs, or I don't have muscles on me now. I'm just skinny, you know.
I think that
could you be 100%?
I think it won't be 100%. It'll be more like 70%. But I'm working on the next step of what I wanted to work on.
Yeah.
Because you've completed that goal, and then you haven't. Okay, halas, new goal. I want to get abs. So you start working on that. Maybe you're content of you finish when you you only know when you're content when you finish your goal, right? And then you find another goal that'll make you more like it's like a cycle thing. You know, I think that's how you supposed to look
I get
at it.
that. Like, there's always going to be another goal,
Yeah.
but you can still be 100% or close to it by being the best version of Barissa. So you personally, like, the only thing is you don't want to have a mindset where it's like, you know, you achieved your goals, like, oh, there's another goal right after.
Hang on a sec. You guys are not subscribed. I think you guys, before you start the video, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy the rest of the video.
You want to still be proud, because that's one of the things they talked about with celebrating wins. You know, we have to celebrate what we've achieved. So it's more like, if you believe you can never be 100, then you'll say, like, I'll never be content. You know, and Allah Alam, like, you have, for example, personal goals in the gym, like, for example, certain lifts you want to hit, certain physique. If you achieve those goals, you want to be able to say, alhamdulillah, I'm at my physical peak. And maybe the difference between 95 and 100 is hard to judge, but you don't want to think it's impossible to be the best version of yourself. Because 100% isn't the best person in the world. It's the best version of Barissa or Ali or Ahmed.
Yeah.
So that's more like,
perception.
for example, you say finances. Oh, my finance will never be 100% because I have 5 million. It needs to be 10. Yeah. But if you have a house paid off, you know, your income, money isn't an issue. You can travel when you want. It's like, say 100% because it's not a concern for you. And the same with your physical or your time. If you're in control of your time, it's like these things you should like aim to be the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Like some people writing 80% is my goal. It's like, shoot for the stars, man.
What did you do for physical body for aspiring to?
Physical body, as in like where I want to be at.
Yeah.
I put 90%.
Yeah, I
Because
like
of
that.
that thought that I had in the moment. I'm like, I can never be perfect. But then I shouldn't have that mentality as well. Because what is the definition of perfect? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just more about like being the best version of myself and just working hard towards it.
Yeah.
I think it's also can help you as a motivation factor that I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to work on it. You know, it's like not 80%. I didn't hit that 80%. You know, it keeps you thinking. So that could help as well.
I think writing down the percentages in what we want to get to in these aspects is powerful because maybe it's something we've never written down. It's something, it's nice. Like maybe I'll get there in the future. I don't know. But then you're writing it down, you're looking at it, and then underneath it's they told us to write the actions towards it. I didn't get to write all actions, but then in terms of getting the opportunity to write down the actions to get towards it, really makes you start to think about these things in your mind, becoming curious. And actually, that's where the belief starts.
It's like when they said saying and thinking of something is completely different to actually writing it down.
Yeah, it's
because
true.
like
Definitely.
you're actually held accountable, or like you're in that thought of actually doing it.
Mm.
If you
That's
get
true.
me.
Yeah, I
What
think
about you guys,
some areas are just like they're hard to have a metric on it. Like for example, you say physical, and you're like, I want to be 10% body fat and lift these certain lifts and run a kilometer in 2 minutes and a half or 3 minutes, whatever it is. It's like then there's metrics like, okay, now I'll be at 100% when I can do this. Relationships, how do you judge that? Oh, me and my friends are doing well at the moment. So it's like it's hard, like literally, okay, friends, family, spouse, kids, grandparents, whatever it is. It's like, okay, how do I judge these relationships? It's like, is it because I spend one day a week with each of them? But what if they're crap relationships? Because like it's not quality time. So some things are a bit hard, and even on the time factor, that was my lowest. I feel like sometimes we're hard on ourselves. Like during 24-hour day, I wasted 2 hours on Instagram. It's like, oh, I was unproductive because of that 2 hours I could have spent memorizing more Quran or doing Arabic. But it's like, if in those other 22 hours, you're actually productive and you achieved what you wanted in the day, alhamdulillah, you deserve guilt-free time. But with time, obviously it's the most valuable thing. Sometimes we're a bit hard on ourselves. Like, oh, well, you just wasted 30 minutes on Instagram. But sometimes, like, if you've achieved what you wanted, obviously you can still do more. But you deserve time as leisure. And if your leisure is scrolling Instagram, good for you. If someone else is playing sports, watching a movie, you deserve this guilt-free time. Especially if you've been productive. But sometimes we're a bit hard on ourselves with these
for sure.
hard metrics to judge.
And what it does is it opens up doors for other aspects of your life. Like for example, if you fix your time, you'll be able to pick up a hobby or a new routine, if you get me. Or you get time to go gym, you know what I mean? So I think if you crack down on every single one of those dot points or topics, and it just works along with each other.
Yeah,
It's-
I definitely believe how you do one thing is how you do everything. Really, if you're focusing on one aspect and you're really pushing towards the goal that you set yourself, or at least along the lines of those goals, then you start to have more self-belief in those other aspects, and you start to push more. That's where it starts from, really.
Yeah.
That's what I
Okay,
think.
boys. What's obviously we all came back from the leadership camp over the weekend. What's your number one takeaway? Because a lot of people haven't heard of a leadership camp before. Obviously, we it was the first time for all of us. We didn't really know a lot of people going on it, and it's not a common thing. Like I haven't heard of leadership retreats, personal development retreats for people in their 20s. Like, that's just not what I'm heard. Maybe other communities do have something similar, but I've never heard of it. It was the first experience for me and all of us. So what's like your number one takeaway, or thing, like even the funnest thing about it? Like maybe it was the dodgeball that we did, or some of the activities. Like honestly, some of the activities was just banter. Was it the friendship, people?
For me, it's always been the connections. I always love attending these type of events and camps because of the brotherhood that you build with others. It's just amazing, man. You get to meet new people, and with this retreat specifically, just having that opportunity to be around like-minded people, to really work on yourself, to actually brainstorm like things about yourself. You know what I mean? But yeah, what I really liked about it was the fact that, and what I got out of it the most was the fact that I have so much potential, and like I wasn't thinking like that beforehand, but after the weekend, I'm like, whoa. Like what happened was
Let's hear it. Sunday night.
yeah, man, Sunday night we got home.
FOMO.
I used to have FOMO in the past, but it's like, all right, we came back. I got home on the Sunday night and I sat down on my bed and I'm like, damn, what's wrong with me, man? I was just sad for some reason. And I was thinking, I'm like, do I miss the people? Do I miss the routine? Do I miss the fact that I was away from home? What is it? And then I'm like, damn, maybe 20% was missing the boys, the brotherhood, all the new boys that I met, you know what I mean? But then the other 80% was the fact that like I had to attend an event or be around other people to tell me that you have so much potential within yourself. Like, why couldn't I figure that out on my own? You get me? But it kind of really woke me up, man. I was kind of disappointed in myself because I know I have so much potential. I can do so much things, so many more things out there. You know what I mean? But then at the same time, it's a positive because you're supposed to be around these type of people and you're supposed to go to these type of events so that you can figure that out. You know what I mean? So now I know what to do, man. Just got to improve on myself.
Definitely
Dream
worth it.
big.
Self-improvement, man.
Dream big.
Yeah.
You like when I did that to you on the camp?
Huh?
Or you're
Dream
burning
big?
a bit?
What? With
Remember
what?
when you were saying some of the dreams? I'm like, dream big.
No, it was
Really?
good. Even when you like the fact that I've never gone a whole weekend without touching my phone once. Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I touch my phone here and there just to check the time. But like,
All the
was
Arsenal
shocked.
transfer news, yeah.
I was gonna say. I was gonna say cap.
Sorry about that, bro. Still.
no.
This guy got gas off Declan Rice, yeah.
For the viewers, yeah, we were sitting at the table, having breakfast, and I was on my phone while everyone else was talking, yeah. And don't get me wrong, the internet wasn't working at all, yeah. The network was bad, and I was just gassed by the signings, man. I'm like,
Yeah, I don't
Declan
blame
Rice
you.
finally announced, and then Ashraf was like, bro, get off your phone, man.
Yeah, put you on the
He
spot.
was right.
Yeah,
Nah,
I got
bro.
upset for a second. I'm like, bro, who are you to tell me to get off my phone? But then I'm like, wait a second. You know, you're supposed to live in the moment,
Yeah.
spend the time with the boys, you know. And yeah, and it hit me later, man. And I was shocked at the fact that like I didn't really use my phone on the whole trip.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm.
Which is
I
really,
think
really
it's
good, man.
I think it's good to hold each other accountable because you're here for a reason. You're
Mm.
supposed to be away from that world and focus on yourself. And that's what I did for myself. I tried my best not to be on my phone unless I have to be, you know.
How was it for you? Because you had your ankle as well.
Yeah.
You were a bit limited in some activities, and obviously it's lingering in your mind all day as well.
Honestly,
Like this guy, the thing is, yeah, there's the only bathrooms is in the cabins. It's on the other side. This guy's like, bro, I need to go to the toilet. And I'm like, bro, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. Like it's gonna take you forever to get there, bro.
that walk, I'm telling you.
So little things like that.
We're playing dodgeball, eh? This guy's on one foot. This guy's
Yeah.
doing somersaults and jumping and doing this. I'm like, bro, what's
Mashallah.
wrong with this guy?
killed
To
it.
the point where he was like one of the last two people on his team.
Yeah,
That was crazy.
I had to pull for my team. I think for me, alhamdulillah, yeah, so I had a soccer injury, and that was a month ago that happened. It was a very unique injury. I don't know how I haven't recovered from it, and I'm still recovering from it.
Ankle fracture.
It's an
Allah
ankle sprain. I don't know. The swelling's still there. That's all there is to know about it. Alhamdulillah, it's gonna get better soon.
Inshallah.
So for a month, I would say for the first 2 weeks, I was bedridden.
Yeah.
Right. So like I said to myself, let me this weeks that I'm spending by myself in my room, I need to learn something. But honestly, I didn't do it. I just started watching shows. I was just gaming, and then after the first 2 weeks, I started trying to start walking on it.
Mm.
I think once I started able to press my foot on the ground, I was like, okay, let me just work on my recovery. So I started walking around the house, going up and down the stairs and stuff. And your mum, Amatu Farhana, she sent me a message, are you going to come to the camp? I try to make a lot of excuses. I'm injured, I haven't worked, I can't afford the ticket or whatnot. It's like, no, you're coming to this camp because I want you to benefit from it. And it's the only time you're going to be with your friends, right? Little did we know, I'm not spending time with any of you guys anyway on the camp.
Yeah, different teams.
But we spent like most meals together.
Yeah, but
when we
Like,
could
not
sit.
it was
the
cute.
majority of the time,
Yeah.
But,
And we got told off a couple of times, stop sitting together. I was
Sit away
like,
from each
man,
other.
I miss my boys, man.
He's like, you might as well get microphones now. That's what he said to us.
Nah.
Yeah, didn't you? Oh, you didn't.
Don't get me wrong, I loved all the boys there, but like when I was getting breakfast and you guys were at the back, I was like just standing there waiting. Because
Bro,
if I sit down,
there was a time I remember, like you had your food, and I'm walking with my plate towards, and I see this guy just staring at me with his food. Like, what do you want?
it's like if I sit down, then randoms will come and sit next to me.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong,
But
I
it's
love
a
all the
comfort.
boys there. I love them, yeah. But
We
like
wanted to have the chats and stuff.
just
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
chat
catch up.
and the banter,
Yeah,
you know.
it's good, alhamdulillah. So I decided to like not make this injury an excuse and come on this retreat and actually learn something because I might benefit something.
Yeah.
And like I thought it's gonna be a lot of activities, like we have to move around and do all that stuff. But alhamdulillah, it wasn't. Actually, it was more of a balanced thing, 50-50. So when I went on this retreat, alhamdulillah, I think one of the best retreats. One of my first, and I actually liked the retreat. I actually took a lot of takeaways from it.
Alhamdulillah.
And subhanAllah, the biggest takeaway is that I was able to leave a message to other people. And the reason for that, because I was in the cabins after the dodgeball game. And then Iba came running into the cabin. Ali was there.
Yeah.
And he started giving a speech to the boys that were in the cabin, like, why we're playing dodgeball. Like, it's part of life, you know? I forgot what was it. What was
Yeah.
it
So basically, he came. Look, first of all, his team beat my team, and that's half the boys in the cabin. So we thought he was going to come in just like giving it to us,
Yeah.
but he was very serious. He said, talking about dodgeball, like you can learn a lot from dodgeball, and like in terms of life, never giving up. There's people that are going to cheat. You know,
You only got one
not
life.
follow the rules. You only got one life basically, or
Yeah.
else you're out. That's it.
Yeah.
And then he basically said that like a lot of you were complaining, you weren't even trying as hard. And then at the same time, there's Ahmed with an injury. He's got an ankle injury, and to be honest, he did better than most of you guys. That's what he said. He's like, I'm actually scared if he wasn't injured, how well he'll play.
Yeah.
I
And
commend him for that, man.
And yeah, honestly, and you have to. And alhamdulillah, he did, because you have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah.
And then he basically said to everyone, if I was to go to war, I'll only go with Ahmed and none of you.
Poor.
Yeah, and
That's a
honestly,
statement,
like-
man.
because
honest-
sorry,
Yeah,
I just want to
go
say,
ahead.
if just in case you miss it,
Yeah.
because even the boys, he's leader and also one of the other like amirs, like in organizers, said to him, "Are you sure you want to play? Like it's at your own risk. Are you sure? We know the top injury you have." He's like, "No, I'm playing." Basically, he just kept pushing. That's what I heard.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Honestly, for me, I think, like, if I'm gonna be in a team, I need to do my part, that kind of thing. I don't want to be the last man hanging behind that I haven't done anything. Like, I'm trying, you know, however I can, I'll try, you know. And when Ibo praised me, honestly, it's like the high praise and the ego stroke that happened there. Everyone cheering for me, and when he said, what did he said? Like, Subhanallah, Allah has given us a sign when Ahmed joined this retreat. He gave us a sign. He said that he, an injured person coming in to take his own risk to actually participate in activities and not give up, I thought that was a sign for me. When he said that, I was like, subhanAllah, I was actually like, I gave a message to everyone, even like without even me giving a message, you know?
Goosebumps,
Just me being there, help people to motivate.
Yeah.
And I think that was the biggest, like the moment that I had after that dodgeball competition, honestly.
And honestly, what I like, so that's a perfect example of how the camp actually you benefit so much, because there's so many times I feel like, for example, someone won't acknowledge you in a situation where you should be acknowledged and you should be complimented for what you're doing, how courageous you are, whatever it is, that you're doing the right thing. And at this camp, I really felt people were acknowledging when you deserved it. And that's what some people actually need more than others.
Yeah.
And that's why I really feel that's where you're able to take the next step, basically, in terms of believing in yourself, you know, setting out your goals and wanting achieving that, because you got backing, you got people that actually support you, they respect you in certain values that you have, which honestly goes a long way.
Goes a long way.
Well, sometimes in everyday life we don't get it, the words of praise, and sometimes we're very hardworking. We do a lot of the things right, but at home it's just a normal thing, and at work it's expected. But when you go to a camp or when you go to a new environment, and someone goes, "Hey, like, you know, you're really really helpful," like around cleaning, like, you know, when we do clean up and stuff, it's like, you know, like, thank you so much. Honestly, like, you do stuff and no one has to ask you. Then they're like, you feel good about it.
Yeah.
You know, because your mum's not going to say it every single time when you do the dishes. So it's a nice feeling that it's like, okay, boom, you know.
And you're getting it from different people, not the same
True.
people that say it to you. Like,
Yeah.
you guys, obviously, you guys say, "Oh, Ahmed, I love your work. You work on the edit. Please fix this up." Da 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 da. I mean, that's a normal compliment and normal advice that I get. But over there at the camp, yeah, it's like things that out of your comfort zone that you do. That they give you compliments that you don't usually get. You know, I think that was a good thing as well.
It was like just constant encouragement and just happy vibes, yeah.
Yeah, pure love for each other, really.
Mm.
Well, for you, Ashraf, what was the biggest takeaway?
Well, I think the brotherhood was the one main thing, you know, because I even spoke with one of the brothers. I think it was I was later on in the day, you know, when we were playing the game where we had to grab the tennis balls and stuff. There's a time where the green I was giving it to the
Tennis
green
balls?
team like the whole time. Like, whenever I could make a joke about the green team, I would, and they know it, because I'd make a joke like, oh, like, they're about to ask a question. I'm like, there's no point asking a question. You're not going to win. Like, it's not going to change anything. And it's just like, it's friendly banter, but it's literally like, this is Saturday night, 30 hours into the challenge. There was one time like we were like pushing each other, like, you know, like a friendly banter. So we're pushing each other and we're laughing and stuff. And then at that moment, it's like, I can play futsal with someone for 6 months, and then if he pushes me and he gets like a bit, you might think he's actually might hit you or something like that. Like, you're like, hey, you're going to be cut about it, this, that. The green team, I don't know most of them, like before that time, and then we're pushing each other, we're having some banter, we're teasing each other, and you know it's out of love.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you know someone for 30 hours? And it's like, you can go to the extremes where you pretend fighting, pushing each other, maybe someone gets hurt, and it's like, you know it's out of love and nothing's going to happen out of it. But then you know someone else for 6 months, a year, and it's like, if you say the wrong comment, you might think, hey, this guy's
You're not
cut.
sure.
Yeah.
So that brotherhood, like how tight you can get with that group, was amazing. You know, like obviously the camp was 50 hours plus, like 2.5 days, but we really, really got close with a lot of brothers, which I enjoyed. And one thing you guys all know about me is like, I like to bring all my friends and try to let us achieve our goals together. I've made so many group chats and challenges and this, that, to try to help each other stay accountable. And a lot of times it doesn't work because you're trying to lift the brothers up. You know, sometimes it has to be an internal thing. You know, it's like you can take the horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. So I'm taking the horse there, but it's not drinking. You know, that consistently doing that every couple months. But then for me to go on a camp and then meet people that are like, you know, hey, you know, I have high aspirations. I'm achieving my goals. And it's like you see these world-class athletes, you know, these guys that are starting their own business. You're like, hey, these are the people you want to be already with. Because these people are better than you in a lot of departments and they can lift you up. It's like, hey, you know, but if you're always, you know, like taking initiative, it's easy to, you know, take a step back and be like, oh, you know, for example, I've read 2 books this month and, you know, this guy hasn't read any. But if you meet someone who goes, I'm reading a book a week, it's like, damn it, I need to lift up.
Yeah, like it challenges you. It challenges you the level you're at, and obviously it motivates you to keep going, basically.
So I loved meeting highly disciplined, aspirational, practicing Muslims. Like it was really, really good because I didn't know where else to meet those people.
That's true.
You know?
It's not easy.
I think the networking and the connecting with the people who have the same mindset. Like everyone at that camp had the same mindset that they wanted to improve themselves. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been there just to be with their friends, right? Like everyone was there for a reason, and they want to achieve that reason after they leave the retreat. I mean, you could bring your friends along or whatnot, but would you give up that ticket for someone who's not going to be motivated enough to actually improve themselves, right? So you bring someone who actually wants it, and it could help them in a long run in the future, kind of thing.
And what's interesting is with the games and stuff, yeah. For example, that chicken game, yeah. They could have just made us play soccer or basketball or whatever, just to gain points. But if you think about it, like every single game had a meaning behind it. Like for example, that chicken game, yeah. It's about teamwork. For example, you're tied up with someone else. It's like it's about working together to go and get those tennis balls. You know what I mean? And
Can
then
you explain the game? Because there's a lot of things we're speaking about on the day
Sounds
on this
confusing.
podcast, and the people are like, I'm out of the loop, so I don't understand your reference.
yeah. So there was a game we were playing. During this retreat, everyone was placed into 4 different teams: red, green, yellow, and blue. With this specific game, there's 4 different bases. Each base had like a little basket container, and the objective was to go to the center of it was like a grass basketball court.
middle.
Yeah, go to the middle, grab the tennis ball. You can grab one at a time and take it back and put it back in your container. But the trick with the game is you're tied up with a partner, and you use your bandana, you tie up your shins together, and you got to put a chicken, like a stuffed toy chicken under your feet. So if you obviously make sound, then you're gonna get hit. And there's about five guys.
Yeah.
They have like these I forgot the name of
There's pool noodles, and the one guy had like a half baton kind of thing, like
a weight thing.
Yeah.
Padded.
It's like a fake dumbbell thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're blindfolded, but they're trying to hit you. And if you get hit, you're out. So the objective of the game is obviously to work with your partner, to get to the middle, grab the tennis ball, and bring it back to your base. And it was so funny if you saw it, like the fact that like I said, you got to work together, teamwork, and it's all about like timing and structure as well. Like getting to the middle, waiting for someone to go in, you know, to act like a decoy, and then you have to go in and grab that ball.
Strategic, yeah.
Yeah. Some people were crawling. Some people were doing some weird stuff, man.
Yeah.
It was very funny. I was actually just standing there laughing.
That was a stinker, honestly, I think, because everyone was cheating because the balls got knocked over so many times, and one of the teammates started rolling the ball towards the thing. You're trying to help your team win.
But it's
That
interesting,
kind of
like on a leadership retreat, like the easy cop out is basketball, soccer, that kind of thing. But even the volleyball, like they tried to make lessons out of it the entire time. Like even volleyball, it's like, oh, that's just a sport. They really, really tried to make teamwork, communication, leadership, that kind of stuff. And all the other games where there was those kind of different skills, like that's a big effort, man. You know, it's hard to organize those things, but they made every single thing on the camp have a purpose for it, which is a lot of work.
Exactly. But yeah, getting back to the question from earlier, for me, it's just a brotherhood, man. Just that night where we all sat down together after we prayed Isha, and you know we just spoke about all different types of topics, and just just to be in an environment where it's safe, you can speak, brother to brother, you can mention your issues or get advice from those who are older. I just felt like it was amazing for me. But yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You missed out, Ashraf. Could have stayed.
Alhamdulillah.
Learned a few things.
Yeah, there's life's like that, But was there anything else you guys want to touch on with the camp weekend, life moving forward?
I think
before we ended up,
well, it was just over a weekend, right? So it basically proved to me, camp or not, how much you can probably do over a weekend in terms of like depending how many commitments you already have over the weekend, but you can actually get a lot done. So if that's your break from studies or break from work, you can actually try something new, try that new skill or whatever you want to do, try hiking or going to a new place, a road trip, or meeting up with people that you haven't spoken to in a while, having these like fresh, refreshing conversations. You can do a lot in your weekend, which can really transform like the weeks to come. Basically, that's what I think.
I think for me, after leaving the camp, the last 3 days from the retreat, I think I'll focus like destroying the bad habits that I've been doing, and try to work on some good habits. And so that camp really helped me, like want to motivate me to actually let's stop what I was doing before and start some new things that will improve my future. And so that it's either like getting ready for my second part of uni.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so like I think start next week inshallah. So I'm revising like what content is coming up. So just try to stay ahead and learning new things. And I think this retreat really helped me a lot to actually look at things in a different perspective, and from not just looking at it but acting upon it as well. So yeah,
I think it was just a means to have a step away from reality. Yeah. Like you said, 50 hours no phone, or like a lot of times you don't have that. Even if you go on a trip to Sydney, you're not reflecting on life. It was literally 50 hours of questions. It was like 8-9 seminars of guests coming in, literally making you question different parts of your life to better yourself. Some areas aren't going to resonate with you, but when else do you get to spend that much time with like-minded people that's like, okay, I'm going to go smash the next 6 months? And I think it will be good, like some of the people saying from the last camp, because a lot of people like to go on them, biannually, like every 6 months, so they can achieve their goals. It'd be good if we all set goals for the next 6 months, even if we don't go on the camp in January. But it's like, okay, boom, I want to achieve this by the end of the year. And it gives you that little boost of motivation, which we all need from time to time.
Of course.
Like
so maybe off camera, we'll give each other some goals, see if we can smash it out.
What about you two?
Well, there was a lot of takes from the weekend. The biggest is probably your surroundings, man. Like every single one of us it's very important for us to be surrounded by the right people who are like-minded, people who have similar goals to you. Like they say, your network is your net worth. So it's really important to just be around the right people. People can push you to be a better version of yourself. And yeah, just to break bad habits and to really think big, dream big, man. And
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's my goals now moving forward. I've been procrastinating for so long with my physical appearance and like my time, which are my two biggest issues right now. But I feel like I've got my diet going again. I want to be healthy, want to be fit, and time, man. Time is very important, because one thing about me is, for some reason, I just like saying yes to everyone. Like for some reason, I don't know if anyone else can relate, but it's like, if you want to hang out on the weekend and you want to hang out on the weekend and you want to hang out on the weekend, I'll say yes to all of you guys.
And you just make it happen.
And I'll just make it happen.
Does that come from like a people pleasing mindset? Like you don't want to say no to someone? Is it that, or is it just you think you can do it all?
It's like I have no fear in saying no, but I got to learn to say no now. Like I do say no on on certain things, but including food.
I think I'm on the same boat as you, bro. Yeah.
But I just personally want to make time for everyone and for everything.
Yeah.
But obviously, it can become a bad thing as well, because I do disappoint a lot of people. When I have to do a certain job or do something, I kind of delay it for like a week or two. And we're men, we kind of just leave it to the side and get to it when we want to get to it. So I feel like for me, moving forward, the biggest part about time is, yes, make time for people, but like you got to be really restricted and prioritize who's more important. And there's always a next time as well. So yeah, it's just moving forward now. And it's not good to overload yourself. you know, because we're obviously in that hype, the adrenaline's running and everything, but it's like make small changes day by day, and eventually you'll get to your goals. So yeah,
I got a book for you when you finish.
done, man.
Atomic Habits. Yeah, I think I got a book for him. We'll try to. We're gonna try to smash our books and our goals and stuff like
Definitely.
that. So beautiful. We'll end it off here. Inshallah. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Honestly, lots of takeaways in this episode. You know, I hope you guys understood how much we learned from it and how these things are important to get out of your comfort zone and chase new experiences. So enjoy. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.